Sheila split 50 plus. And today we talk all things dating over 50, 60, and 70 and beyond. And today our topic is later too late? Have you missed the boat? Do you think love has eluded you in this season of life? So we're going to talk about those things. But I just want to remind you, we're not therapists, we're not counselors, we're not dating coaches. We're simply women who happen to have found love in our later years. And from the messages and comments that I see, you guys really like the conversation. So we're going to keep the conversation going. We share our experiences, our struggles in our lives, and we're here again. And with that, Traci, take it away.
Hold on just one moment. I have been getting emails, and what I have been seeing just from the whole, we have women that are in their 50s, 60s, and a couple even in their 70s. Now, the biggest thing that I've been seeing are those who are Christian. And for those of you who aren't believers, don't run. This is for you too. Anyway, believers wanting to find men for them in the church. For you, it could be somewhere else. They are even wondering if they should leave their cities. And they do a lot of work on themselves. They feel like they're ready, but it's like, where are the men? And they go to all the places that we've suggested. They even do their dating online, but they're saying, where's he at? And I'm sure there are men who are watching, you probably feel the same too. But I've been getting emails on this, and I know that you all are, when I say you all, my sisters are also getting things in the comments. But what we're noticing, 50s, 60s, a few 70-year-olds, and the question is, where are they? And wondering if love is ever going to find them. Mm-hmm. This is where we're getting to just open all of this up to say, well, is later too late?
Yeah.
I want to chime in.
You know what? I don't know. From my perspective, I think it's never too late. And I know that that can be oversaid and overdone, but the real is it's really never too late. And I think the frustration is that we have women and men, 50, 60, 70. Some have been divorced, widowed, never married, but everyone is looking for love. And when you look for love, you want to see things from people who look like you, who people who are your age group, and people who have experienced some of the things that you have. And even though we have found love, we still experience a lot of things to get to this point. And all of us have been married before, but we also were remarried at midlife. So I think the question is yourself. Are you looking within? What are you focused on? I think we had people who said they thought they did everything. They did self-development. They took walks in the park, whatever they did to try to attract the opposite. And mostly I'm talking to women here because we do a lot to try to attract the opposite person. And sometimes we have to do less than more. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't have to look, because sometimes when we look like we're hungry. What do you all think?
I definitely agree with that. Don't be hungry. Be content where you are with who you are. And, men can pick up when you're hungry and when you're desperate. And we don't want that. We want to feel that we're being ourselves and naturally attract whoever, is for us at the time. Sometimes, what I was thinking? I was thinking that there are some women, and you guys probably know people like this. They always got a man. They may not be the most beautiful, the most shapely, and some of them get really good looking men. So what is it about those women that are, attracting men? Like they'll have a man.
Man magnet.
Yeah, they may have a man this year, they may have another man. You're looking at them. I haven't dated in 10 years. What's her secret? So I think the secret might be, they're just content. They have something that makes a guy want to kind of be with them. I don't know what that magic is, but they have something. So what do you think?
It does have something to do with self-confidence, if you will. And I think the biggest thing is our mindsets. And yes, for a bunch of y'all, I'm going to be woo, but that's just me, woo. Wherever your mind goes, that's what happens. So if you're already questioning, well, where are they at? It's almost like you're thinking from a lack perspective. Sometimes it takes for us to change our perspective to maybe say, there's somebody out there for me, because whatever we put out into the universe, again, wherever our minds go, truthfully, that's where we flow. When you get to a point where you're detached, I'm content, as Adelina said, this would be nice. I have everything I need. This would be nice. Right. What is this saying? You're coming from an abundance point of view. I already have. And if you think about it, sometimes a lot of us have been through trauma. And I heard somebody say we date to the level of our trauma. That is something to seriously consider, because if you've experienced abuse and rejection, your want is a lot different. What that means is check your motive. Number one, why do you want this relationship? Number two, again, where are you coming from? Is it a want because I need love? I want to control? Where are you really coming from? What are you ladies thinking?
I think that, and then on the other end of the spectrum that Adelina talked about is the beautiful women who are not dating. And so I think that it comes from being, to your point, it comes from having peace within, being peaceful with yourself. And people will say, oh, I know I'm peaceful. I know I got peace within myself because I know. But yet you don't really know, because you really have to have true peace. And true peace is above and beyond what you have, like from a material perspective. When you have true peace, that light is shining on you. And so you could look, the best of looks, or you may not be as attractive, who knows? But if you have the true peace, that part of you comes out. And it's not going to be where can you find a date or a guy. It's going to be they'll be looking for you. So you have to position yourself where you're the magnet, and you're not looking around the corner every time you go somewhere. You're looking, and it's just like someone comes up to you and gives you a compliment. You're in the airport or wherever, and someone says, "Oh, I really like your hair," or "Oh, I really like your outfit." That comes out of the blue. There's something about you that attracted that person to come and say something to you. And I don't mean just a man, I mean women or a child or whatever. And so you just have to position yourself to be in the position where you have self-development but you don't go like you talked about Christians and being in church and that type of thing. I'm sorry. Men are not looking for a holier than thou person. Now, that's
Ooh,
not to say that I love the Lord, but I'm just gonna say they're not
yes,
looking for a holier than thou. And as we looked, all three of us looked at what was the program we later dater,
Your
and
daters.
and
Yep.
one of the guys that was dating that really kind of sparked us to talk about this. One of the guys that was dating, it was a really beautiful lady. They
mhm,
seemed to have a deep, nice, pretty date, but
yep.
when in the end, he said, I don't want to go to church every 5 minutes, So it's a choice, but you have to be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And I like that. Now, again, for those of you who don't believe, don't run. However, let us just speak here for a moment. You stay tuned. I know that all of us are believers and we're married to believers, hardcore. However, our husbands like to talk about football. They like other human things. They're human.
Mm-hmm.
As a wife, appeal to that. Yeah, of course, you have to be careful dating. You don't be playing wifey. Yeah, well, we can't tell you grown folks what to do. However, my point is, especially if you are a believer, let that person see your human side as much as your believer side, is what we're saying, because that's what he wants to see. And for her, that's what she wants to see too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my husband and I, we can walk around the house praying, speaking in tongues and whatever all day, and that would make us happy. But at some point, we are human. We have to come out of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're getting at.
Do a line dance or something.
Yes.
And then sometimes like being over religious, you come out as so judgmental and the other person can't be themselves. But
True.
one of the things that I wanted to bring up was a lot of women after 50 get really impatient. I've noticed in some of the comments that they're like, oh, I went online for a month and then I decided it didn't work for me. Or, I tried. And I think women tend to give up quickly. I mean, it took me 4 years online to meet my husband, and I was on and off and on and off. And it was not easy, but I knew what I wanted. I didn't give up. I didn't say, there were some crazy guys out there. There were some scammers. You got to weed through and just believe, and for me, I hate to say this, it became sport at some point. I was living in Texas. I was alone. And at night, I would just be scrolling. Sometimes I would just laugh, see who's out there. But I never was like, oh, this is terrible. I'm going to throw in the towel forever. You have to give things time. You have to give people a chance, and which leads me to another thing. We get so set in our ways, and as we get older, I think we need to be more flexible. We need to think about our priorities. They're way different than they were when we were younger. So we need to think about that when we're looking for our dream boat. He's not going to be the same dream boat when we were 30. So we're not the same dream boat
Right.
when we were when we were 30. So, we evolve and we change, and we have to be flexible. I think people after 50, they kind of get inflexible, and that's where you get in trouble. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I agree with you on that because, and talking about patience, my husband and I actually dated 5 years long distance. And that was really good for us because when we met, we both were kind of just coming out of marriages. And, it really worked well for us because one, it gave us a chance to see each other and really be happy when we saw each other after a month or so or something like that. But it also gave us a chance to take a breather in between our past marriage. And that 5 years, it went by fast, but I wasn't hurrying up to do it. But at the point when we did it, we were both ready for it. and we plan for it and everything. And I think that I think you hit on, when you older, it's hard to really kind of settle into other people. I moved to Atlanta where my husband lives, and I was ready to go back home after a month. So the thing is that you still have to be able to adjust. And I'm glad I stayed, because it turned out to be really good for both of us. But you have to be able to adjust to the other person. So that's whether you're dating or you're married. And we have another thing, guys. Is expectations.
But wait.
Yeah.
But wait, before we hit the expectations, I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? Frederick and I met, and in less than 7 months, we got married.
Hi.
Now
I love it.
Year,
that was your special situation.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
And
you all have been married how long?
9 years. It will be 10 in November, and we are still on our honeymoon.
They are.
So it's one of those things, even though we're older. Now, do you need to do your due diligence in your homework? Spending time with one another, whatever? Absolutely. When we were dating, we chose to completely, totally abstain. And we abstain from sex, y'all. And we spent a lot of time asking the hard questions about everything. So by the time he proposed, which was 4 months later, there was no question about knowing. Therefore, I'm speaking to those of you who meet someone and you've done your due diligence, and both of you know that you know that you know. Please, y'all, when you're dating, ask the hard questions. I mean, the ugly. Also, leave your representative at home. If you find somebody that you really like, let them see you're good, you're bad, you're ugly. If you know that this is the person I want to be with, let them see it all so that they can make an informed decision. Yes, I can hang with this, or nah, I don't want no part of that. You want them to not want no part of that up front, then you two get hooked up, and once years down the line, oops, you didn't tell me this, I didn't know this, I didn't see this. Lay it out on the line so that you go into your marriage safe, sound, and secure, knowing that everything has been laid out on the table. Let's talk about them expectations.
And that's not easy to do before you're married. A lot of people wait till after to ask the hard questions, but that will tell you a lot about what you're getting into. If, number one, they don't want to answer the questions, they avoid the questions, right? Or, you find, worst case scenario, you find out things you don't really want to know. But at that point, you have a choice before you get married. So that was really great. I like that you guys did that. I wasn't that good, but I'm good.
I had to learn the hard way.
But the other thing is, when you talked about asking the questions, it's really important, because you talk about abstaining from sex. I have a friend that was celibate, and she met a guy at an event I did, and she was like, he is the one. Oh, he's the one. Whoa. And then she got his phone number, they talked, and the first time they had a conversation on the phone, he said, I can't handle that. So he was not the one. So be careful about who you think is the one. And, please ask us some questions, talking about questions. You all can ask us some questions as well, because this is a conversation. And, okay, Adelina, you talking about expectations?
Oh, I think that was
Sheila. That was you.
Was that me?
That was
yes.
Well, you know what? We have too many expectations. I'm sorry, y'all. I am sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all have too many expectations.
Yeah.
You gotta be this. he or she has to be this, men too. She has to be this. They have to look like this. They can't do this. They can't. I mean, it's just all kind of expectations.
I
And the
know.
only thing you should be expecting when you meet someone that you think you're interested in is having a great conversation, getting to know the person, and
Yes.
then deciding whether you, as a both of you are, want to take it to a next level. If the man said he don't really want to get married, then what he said is probably the truth. Don't
You
try to
better
stick
listen.
in there unless you just, and there's nothing wrong with just, I mean, I have conversations with with women that say, if I don't like you, I'm not going to date you. Well, I'm just like, go to the show or something. You're not sitting in the house all day, as long as the person is not obnoxious or anything. But a
Right.
nice person, that's something I have done. If the person was nice, I let it be known that I'm not interested in a relationship. And they said,
Right.
well, I would like for you to go to a dinner with me. And I'm like, well, okay, and
Right. Right.
you got to set it out in the beginning what it really is.
Yep. You
Yeah,
don't.
and I think while you're single, it's nice to go on those dates, especially if you've been single for a long time. It kind of gets you back in the groove of being in the company of men again, because some of us are so awkward after 15, 10, 12 years of not having a man in our lives. You almost don't know how to act. So it could be good training, and same as you, Sheila. I had some guys that, we weren't a match. We both recognized it, but it was nice to have somebody to go to a show with or coffee or do something fun with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
And
You
we
have
have
to
a
take it to the
question.
culture.
Someone wants to know dating sites you recommend, ladies. That is an Adelina question,
It
and
sure is.
she does that really well.
Well, I have on my Fly Granny page, if you follow me on the Fly Granny, I have a link where I have a free download for a bunch of sites. And I have the site that I met my husband on too. And always be careful. Always, if you're going out a date, go on coffee dates first. Always be in public. But if you want to message your info, and we can send you the link later. So it's on my personal Fly Granny page.
Can I go back to the expectations thing?
Mhm.
Definitely.
There's a difference between having standards, because we all need to have standards, okay?
Mhm.
Standards are the things that you want for you. Also, really check the standards of the way you should behave for yourself towards someone else. We all should have our standards and even a few non negotiables, because we're not in this to get ran over and dogged out and have no boundaries. However, it becomes an issue when you take your standards and enforce them onto someone else. At that point, that's when it does become expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and you tread an ugly line if someone is not feeling that. How do you navigate this? When you're in the dating, you observe. You observe that other person and encourage them to be themselves to the fullest. Okay? You want to see it all. At that point, if you're seeing something that's like, if you like this person and you are deep enough in your communications, you can express your likes. They have choices what they want to do or not do.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that you also have choices what you want and what you don't want. We don't have to take everybody to the altar, like my sisters just said. You can put them in the friend category if you know that the relationship is not going to work for you. But keep your standards for you and don't force your standards, which become expectations on someone else.
Right.
That will save you heartbreak.
Sorry. And there's nothing wrong with expectations, but just don't be unreasonable. Know what they are and don't be unreasonable.
Yeah.
Like, at a certain age, you want a millionaire. Okay, yes, that's wonderful. But hey, he could be a plumber. Don't and make decent money. Don't, raise
Right.
up your nose at that.
Right.
Just think about the
Mhm.
big picture,
Yeah, the big picture is you want to, particularly as we age, we want companionship. We
Mhm.
want someone to just spend time with. Even if you're sitting there reading a book or whatever, and he's
Right.
reading the newspaper or whatever. So we do, and you get the older you get, it becomes lonely for a lot of people. Some people manage, which then go about their business and don't even think about it, because we do have to get realistic.
Yes.
You may not find that perfect mate,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
you may not find a mate. But if you are comfortable in your own skin, if you say, well, I'm just going to wear my lingerie for me, I don't have to have anyone to wear my lingerie from. I can just wear it for myself. Or I could go to dinner for myself, or I could, do, and sometimes that might get a little, but the point that I'm trying to make is, be happy with yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
you're happy with yourself, then, someone else with you is just another piece of the cake,
Mm-hmm.
and
Icing, bonus.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just a bonus. So I don't want to, personally, I don't want to create any false things about finding a mate. We've had people that talked about they wanted to, maybe I should move to another state.
Hmm.
But as my husband says, the same person that gets on the bus is going to be the same person that gets off the bus.
Wherever
So
you go, there you are.
sometimes you okay just where you are. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
And that's that part of being content. Then there's that verse in the Bible, whatever state I'm in, I've learned to be content. And, what if you have, Lord willing, another 20, 25 years? Don't go lamenting, enjoy your life, live your life, find things that you like to do, find groups. If you don't like to be alone, find groups, but always work on yourself. And, try not to find completion in that other person. And I think that's a healthy way to look at it. And you may, like Sheila said, you may not find love along the way, but you just might. And being content in yourself, I think, helps to, bring, well, first of all, it's good for your own state of mind. And
Mhm.
it may help bring that partner to you if you're just happy with yourself. So I think people are looking for someone that's happy too. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to be with somebody sour. So, you know.
Yeah, don't give up, don't get frustrated. Keep living your life.
Mm,
You just never know, and then you could find that person, or let me just say this, that person could find you.
mm-hmm.
Never know. I wasn't looking. As a matter of fact, I didn't even want to meet anyone. I just wanted to do my business. And when I met my husband at a conference. So the thing about it, that's another thing we'll hit on before we leave, is people really like to know, well, where do I meet people? You know.
I think that there's the online, there's your meetup groups. Check in with your family and friends. My bestie is also my husband's bestie. She had been trying to get us together for almost a year and a half, but time was just not. But she decided to do a blind date for the both of us one day, and that was it.
Wow.
That was it. Check your sphere of influence
Mm-hmm.
and
And
again
get out
remain
of that
attached.
circle. Get out of that circle you've been in for a long, long time. I sometimes when I go home, I see this, and I might go to somewhere I used to go to. It's the same people. So get out of that circle, step out of the box, do something different. I'm the queen of doing something different, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I'm with my husband or not, sometimes we go places he may not want to go. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna get a ticket and I'm going, and I'll be back at such and such time. So
Mm-hmm.
you just have to be able to, and that doesn't work for everyone, but it works for us. you know. But so you could do the same thing as single. Just step out, go to a different city. I said, now what's different in this city? You know, what's cultural that I could see, or you know. So you could do the same thing single.
And it could be scary, but this might be your call to step out of your comfort zone and try something different. And, you know, sometimes it's easier for a guy to approach you when you're by yourself. Hint, hint,
True.
when you're with a group of women. Nothing wrong with your sister friends, but I'm just saying, you know, sometimes it's just easier to be approached in that way. Traci, you reminded me before to tell everybody to follow us on YouTube. We have our own channel, Silver Sisters Speak. So join us over there, subscribe, like, and share, and the same with this one. And do you guys have anything else before we?
And you'll see, if you go to our channel, you also see other videos that we've made over the year since we've been doing this. So you get to see all of it from the beginning.
Yes. Anything else, ladies? Or
and we have our individual pages as well. That you can see some of this, and then you can follow us on our individual pages. But I think, if we're closing now, I just wanted to personally thank everyone for coming on. I'm the grandma of the group.
Stop it.
So, and I just want to say that I found love in midlife in my, I guess maybe 55 or something like that. And I just made 74. And my husband and I, we the young 74. We don't, you know, we youthful, you know. So we get out and we do our thing, and my husband lets me do my thing, and you know, so you don't give up, and don't stay too long.
we did a podcast on that. Don't stay too long.
Yeah.
So they could find it. I can't remember what the title is, but look at all of them, folks. but I too, I just got married at 65. I met my husband. We were both 60. So be encouraged. It's possible. And Traci's the baby, right?
57, soon to be 58. And I got married at the age of 48. So it's possible. The podcast, I see you. The podcast is Silver Sisters Speaks. Silver Sisters Speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll find it on
YouTube.
We're going to be migrating everything over there. You know, you'll probably see us on our pages, but we'll also be posting there. And soon we're going to just have everything over there.
So follow us anyway.
And Traci, you put all of our information below, right?
Oh, let me get that up. My bad. I'm too busy.
Okay, that's okay. So thank you everyone for tuning in. You know, I see all your comments. I try to answer all of them, and so do my sisters on their pages. We see your comments. We appreciate you. And would you let us know other topics you want us to talk about? We'll gladly discuss that. And don't forget, like everybody says, smash the like button, follow us, and feel free to drop the comments. We really appreciate all of you for being here. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. With that, smooches.
Signing off. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.